and it's a 6-point lead.
All right. That may not have gone the way that any of us predicted it would go. However, we are here not only to look back on Game 6, but look ahead to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He's Coach Sam Mitchell. He's Isaiah Thomas. I'm Kristen Ledlow, and we're with you for the next, well, however long it takes to hear from each of these teams.
Not going to be long.
And player, you think?
Well, if you're Miami, you're trying to get out of there to get home, right, Z?
Yeah,
right.
And if you're Boston, you definitely want to get out of there because you are hurt right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
So in 48 hours, we're talking Game 7.
You're talking Game 7, and as you and Sam alluded to, that, you know, right now it's about, you know, forgetting this game for both teams, getting proper rest, getting to Miami, and getting ready to play Game 7. And, you know, we must say Boston blew a golden opportunity to close out. And we got to remind everybody, this is a team in a group of individuals. When you talk about Tatum, Brown, Smart, you know, they've been fighting to get to the finals now for a long time. So to keep having the door shut on them in such a hurtful way, this is what their third trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. And with those three, they still haven't got the job done. And tonight you thought they would get it done. 27
points, Coach, combined for Jimmy Butler in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
47 in this one, as he reminds us why we call him Jimmy Buckets.
And I think we could say health. You could tell that knee, his legs were there tonight. Mm-hmm. You go back to the last game, he was missing layups. He had no lift. And when you have no lift and you can't do the things that you used to doing, you lose your confidence. Tonight, look at that shot right there. He couldn't do that 2 games ago. He didn't have that kind of lift. He didn't have that burst. So that knee, and that's the thing that's crazy about it. Tonight, he felt good. Who knows in 48 hours how's that knee going to react? Yeah. Playing 46 minutes tonight?
Yeah.
So, look, give Jimmy Butler, I'm going to give him praise. What he did tonight, me and Zeke been sitting here saying, how did that guy with his body tore up the way it is right now, not the most athletic guy, not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, not a good three-point shooter, not great at anything, but the greatest thing, he 2 things. He competes and the belief he has in himself. Those 2 things is what separates him and puts him on the level with more talented players, in my opinion, Tatum, Brown, and others, because he competes in that belief in himself.
And he did it on 55% shooting, a 4th 40-point post game for Jimmy Butler in this one. And Zeke, he affected the game in so many other ways, 9 rebounds and 8 assists.
I mean, when, you know, this was a guy the last game who we saw shooting air balls from the 3-point line.
3-point line?
Yeah.
15 feet.
Yeah. And to see the turnaround, and Sam, you hit on it, you know, his ability to come out and just compete, and the Miami Heat team just show up and persevere and compete. And we talked about, you know, it may not be the most skilled team that wins, and it may not be the prettiest team that wins, but the guy who's the last one standing, you know, that's the one who normally wins because he's the last one standing. And Jimmy Butler tonight was the last one standing because of his perseverance and determination.
If then, Coach, we assume that Jimmy does not have another near 50-point game on better than 50% shooting, which he might in Game 7, what about what the Heat did as a team could translate to a home win and thus a series win?
Well, I took a couple of notes. The last game, the Heat backcourt, Kyle and Strus, had 4 points. Mm-hmm. They were 0 for. Tonight, they didn't shoot a great percentage, but they had 26 points between them. That gave Jimmy, they did enough to give him breaks. I remember a game Trent Tucker was telling me when he played with Chicago Bulls. MJ was tired.
Right.
And MJ came to the huddle and said, I need somebody to make one shot just so I don't have to score. I don't have to work hard on this possession. Right. One shot. And what Jimmy Butler needed tonight, he needed Kyle and others to make a couple of shots just so he didn't have to dominate the ball the whole night, just to give him a little rest. Because Isaiah tell you, you don't rest on defense, you rest on offense.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what he needed. And he got just enough input, just enough shooting and scoring from others. He scored almost half their points.
Yeah.
Let that resonate. In a Game 6 on the road, in Boston, a closeout game, Unbelievable.
Nobody else even had 20, and only 3 total scored in double figures. But we can talk missed opportunities, Zeke, for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combined for 50 points. What offensively just wasn't quite clicking in order for them to beat, by every stretch of the imagination, a hobbled Heat team?
I don't know if it wasn't what wasn't clicking for Boston, or that one man can beat you. And we used to say this to Chuck Daly about Jordan. They would always say, well, one guy can't beat you, right? And we would say, hey, Chuck, time out. This one can. Yeah. 23 in red, this one can beat us by himself. We need to double team. We need to stop him. And tonight, I don't know if it was so much of what Boston couldn't do offensively,
right?
But what they couldn't do defensively was stop the one-man wrecking crew that came to Boston and really took their lunch and said, you know what? You remember how we used to get robbed?
Oh, yeah.
We probably didn't get robbed.
Come on now.
But, I play with this one guy every night, right? And right after the game, he and I would be walking to the bus stop. Now, we just got through playing. And he would turn around and say, give me your money. I was like, wait, we just got through playing. We walking through the bus stop together. That's what Jimmy Butler did to the Boston Celtics tonight, right? He walked into the arena and he said to the Celtics, hey, give me your money.
He took their lunch money.
Took it.
Let's hear what Coach Udoka has to say. He's addressing the media now.
What did you think of your team's performance down the stretch, and how do you gear up and get ready for Game 7?
2 things. They attacked the basket, got the free throw line. We had some poor fouls at timely, possessions in the game. Then they made timely threes, specifically late in the shot clock, where we didn't contest or get out on shooters as well as we should have. And so, throughout the game, we had our chances. We got off to a slow start. Butler was aggressive. We didn't match his intensity, but every time we got within striking distance, got it to a tie game, 2-3 points. We had some costly turnovers that they go down and score on, and felt like we were playing behind most of the time due to that.
Ime, just in the second half in general, in terms of getting Tatum going in that fourth quarter, what did you see there in terms of his struggles, and what can you do in Game 7 to make sure that doesn't happen, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, them loading up on him, like always. And that was part of the deal, having some of the turnovers there was, them double teaming him, and either we got the passes out, got tipped, or they weren't crisp and didn't get to attack out of that. So knowing they're going to go after him, load up on him like always, that's nothing new as far as that. And just our execution, whether he was a handler or the screener, wasn't as crisp as it needed to be, and we didn't get a chance to attack the numbers behind it.
Ime, 2 things quick. First, with Jimmy, obviously he's a great player, hit a lot of tough shots. Is there anything you would have liked to see you guys do differently, or is that just a tip your hat to him performance?
Well, the threes is, he's been off this series from 3. He came out, hit 3 for 3, and goes 4 for 8 on the night. So we adjusted from there and, got better as the night went on. But his aggressiveness getting to the free throw line, 11 for 11, that usually indicates that he's being aggressive and playing well. And just matching his intensity from the start wasn't there. He put his head down, got to the basket, way too many easy shots or point-blank layups. And just poor defense on our part, on him, when we had been really good in the past. And understanding that he's going to come out and put it on his shoulders, and we didn't match it.
And to your point about the intensity at the start, you guys came out and were sloppy. I think you had 4 or 5 turnovers the first couple of minutes. How disappointed were you with the way you guys got off to that slow start to begin with?
Yeah, it's just kind of indicative of how our nights have been in this series. When we don't take care of the ball, a lot of careless ones, unforced, and that got us behind. Obviously, we had to dig ourselves out of a hole from the get-go. Got it back to 29, 22, but weren't playing our best at all. And then throughout the game, like I said, anytime we got within striking range, it felt like we had a poor decision, whether it was a turnover and they got out and scored. And so it kept it at like 5 to 7 point margin. So had chances and didn't take advantage of them.
You talk about careless, unforced. It's been a running theme throughout all of this. This was supposed to be the big opportunity to close this out at home. How come there's still unforced careless turnovers to start the game?
Either too loose with it, them coming out physical and us being caught off guard, which we shouldn't be at this point, but understanding who they are and like I said, it's the same type of turnovers, getting poked away or playing in the crowd and us being surprised that they're going to reach, hold, grab, and do what they do.